Welcome, esteemed viewers, to another journey into the hidden shadows of our modern history. When we speak of the Cold War, we often picture the fierce standoff between the CIA and the KGB. Yet, far away from the frozen streets of Berlin, a different shadow war was quietly unfolding. Deep in the Middle East, two unlikely agencies forged a top-secret and powerful alliance. Today, we uncover the classified Trident axis, where ultimate trust was the only currency. During the late 1950s, the world was deeply divided by an unseen Iron Curtain. The fragile global landscape watched as the Soviet Union expanded its massive influence. Declassified records reveal that neutral European cities became the primary battlegrounds. In the misty, dimly lit streets of Vienna and Paris, quiet footsteps echoed in the bitter cold. Unmarked black vehicles glided silently past old architecture, hiding operatives in plain sight. Here, a covert Middle Eastern intelligence officer arrived in a heavy woolen trench coat. He represented SAVAK, an agency desperate to secure borders against communist threats. Waiting in the shadows was his elite counterpart, an operative of the Israeli Mossad. Historical documents claim they met in completely windowless and heavily guarded hotel rooms. There were no formal handshakes, only cautious glances exchanged through thick clouds of cigarette smoke. A sealed manila folder, stamped with a red top secret mark, was slowly pushed across the table. This silent exchange of highly classified information birthed the legendary Trident Alliance. Also known as Tzur, this trilateral pact included Turkey to build a regional stronghold. It was a bond built purely on pragmatic survival, uniting nations with different beliefs. For Israel, it brought crucial allies in a hostile land, bypassing standard diplomacy. For Iran, it offered unmatched intelligence networks and advanced operational tactics. The enemy of my enemy is my friend, a core philosophy that anchored this hidden axis. These shadow operatives moved like ghosts, erasing their tracks before the morning fog could fully lift. They shared sensitive profiles of Soviet agents, extremist leaders, and potential regional threats. Slowly, their mutual suspicion faded, replaced by a cold, calculating, and professional trust. By the early 1960s, the alliance turned from paper agreements to massive operations. The focus shifted from Europe's quiet alleys to the harsh, unforgiving terrains of the Middle East. Could such a fragile, secretive partnership actually alter the balance of power in the Cold War? To answer this, we must look at the colossal radar stations constructed along the northern borders. These brutalist concrete fortresses were hidden deep within the treacherous, snowy mountain peaks. Massive analog antennas faced the Soviet Union, capturing every whispered transmission. Inside these secure bunkers, the atmosphere was constantly tense, lit only by harsh, fluorescent lights. Senior commanders from both nations stood shoulder to shoulder around vast tactical sand tables. They studied intercepted messages, desperate to predict the next communist maneuver. Hundreds of young technicians sat hunched over massive room-sized mainframe computers day and night. In heavy headphones, they carefully deciphered the relentless static of enemy radio waves. Historians note that Trident essentially became the all-seeing eye for Western intelligence. They successfully monitored missile tests, troop movements, and spy deployments across the border. All intercepted data was carefully translated, cataloged, and shared among the trusted partners. This level of cooperation required an almost dangerous degree of vulnerability. Foreign agents were granted access to their most guarded and highly sensitive military secrets. Shared fear of Soviet power acted as a highly effective glue for this secret alliance. The command rooms buzzed with a mixture of Hebrew, Persian, and English, united by a common purpose. Whenever a critical threat was detected, the system immediately triggered a joint response. This invisible shield prevented numerous catastrophic sabotage attempts during the decade. Their massive signal intelligence network rivaled the most advanced Western military powers. But signal intelligence alone could not secure the highly volatile, resource-rich desert regions. They needed boots on the ground, trained operatives capable of executing precise tactical strikes. Thus began Trident's next critical phase, focusing on specialized human intelligence gathering. Elite Mossad instructors were secretly flown in to conduct advanced training for SAVAK agents. They taught complex surveillance techniques, psychological warfare, and advanced interrogation methods. In return, Iran's agents gave cultural insights and deep access into closed societies. Their technical brilliance and regional mastery combined to forge an unstoppable shadow force. Operating outside standard law, they struck preemptively against their shared, mutual enemies. Lethal plots were quietly dismantled, and radical underground networks were ruthlessly crushed. The silent war raged without a public trace, leaving only whispered rumors among the global elite. Both agencies understood that a single leak could instantly destroy their governments and the Pact. Absolute secrecy was strictly maintained through ruthless internal security measures. In the early 1970s, the world faced a massive and unprecedented energy crisis. Oil became the ultimate weapon, and the sprawling desert pipelines were the most vulnerable targets. Extremist groups, funded by rival nations, planned massive coordinated attacks on these lifelines. The Trident Alliance swiftly deployed its highly trained tactical field agents to the scorching deserts. Clad in dusty khakis, these hardened operatives patrolled the endless miles of steel pipes at night. Armed with weathered assault rifles, they squinted through violent sandstorms, scanning the dark horizon. Mission logs describe terrifying midnight encounters with heavily armed shadow saboteurs. These hostile infiltrators, dressed entirely in black, attempted to plant explosives in the dark. But the Joint Intelligence Network predicted their exact movements days before they ever arrived. Ambushing the attackers, the guards neutralized the threats with cold, ruthless, and deadly precision. Not a single drop of oil spilled, and the global markets remained completely unaware of the crisis. This flawless defense solidified the absolute trust between the leaders of both nations. Their covert network was as complex and intricate as a giant spider web in the desert. They no longer just shared information. They actively fought and sacrificed for each other. Examining the historical archives, you will find no official mention of these fierce battles. The victories were celebrated in silence, acknowledged by encrypted messages and quiet nods. This profound bond between the agents transcended their different religious and cultural backgrounds. They were brothers in the shadows, united by the heavy burden of protecting their homelands. Yet, as the 1970s progressed, the global landscape began to shift dramatically. New internal threats emerged, challenging the very regimes that had built this secret alliance. Would this massive intelligence network survive the impending political earthquakes of the decade? Facing instability, Trident's leaders decided to elevate their strategic partnership. Shared intelligence and tactical defense were no longer enough to secure regional dominance. They needed an overwhelming advantage, a weapon to deter any future aggressor. Thus, the alliance entered its final and most controversial phase: advanced military tech transfer. Classified documents reveal a massive, multi-billion-dollar joint venture hidden from the public. The secret project aimed to develop cutting-edge ballistic missiles for mutual defense. In completely secure, underground labs, the brightest military engineers from both sides gathered. Working late into the night under warm, golden desk lamps, they meticulously studied complex blueprints. Men in horn-rimmed glasses used precision compasses to design the future of modern warfare. They built a fearsome arsenal, a technological marvel born from decades of absolute blind trust. The financial scale of this black operation was staggering, fueled by untraceable gold and oil. It was the ultimate climax of the Trident Pact, transforming spies into the architects of destruction. The secret missile program caused a terrifying shift in the regional balance of power. If completed, it would have created an unstoppable hegemonic force in the Middle East. History is unpredictable, and even the strongest bonds are completely vulnerable to time. The revolution was slowly brewing, threatening to tear down the foundation of this grand design. The trusted agents who built this empire were completely unaware of the storm gathering above them. Their architectural blueprints and secret intelligence files would soon be scattered to the wind. The legacy of SAVAK and Mossad remains a highly debated topic among historians. It is a profound testament to the power of pragmatic alliances during the Cold War. We are left to wonder about the alternate timelines if this tech project had been fully finished. The final days of the Trident Alliance were marked by intense, hurried meetings in dark rooms. A highly classified intelligence folder was placed beside a complex technical blueprint. The warm golden light illuminated the grand design of a powerful military weapon. This quiet image perfectly captured the absolute peak of their secret operational trust. It was a truly monumental achievement for two nations surrounded by hostile forces. Years of sharing critical intelligence had evolved into sharing advanced destruction. However, this ultimate collaboration would vanish into the dark dust of history. The political earthquakes of the late 70s permanently shattered this hidden alliance. As massive revolutions swept through the region, the silent operatives were forced to flee. The underground radar stations were quickly abandoned, leaving only cold, empty concrete. The intricate network they had painstakingly woven across the Middle East was torn apart. Yet the legacy of Trident remains a fascinating study of secret strategy. It proves that common enemies can create the strongest bonds, even between vastly different worlds. The silent sentinels of SAVAK and Mossad shaped the Cold War from deep within the shadows. Their classified military blueprints may have been buried, but their impact is undeniable. This secret pact demonstrated the terrifying potential of unified intelligence. We invite you to carefully ponder the ultimate consequences of this shadow alliance. Do you believe this secret tech alliance was a brilliant masterstroke for mutual survival? Or a dangerous compromise that planted the seeds for future conflicts? Please share your thoughts below. If you enjoyed this deep dive, please remember to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more.